New year, new you. That's the pressure, right? But what if the clarity that you need right now isn't from becoming something new or a new version of yourself? What if it's in returning to what has always been true, which is you, the core of who you are, the foundation of who you are, the reason that you exist, to be authentic, to be unique? What if your answers lied in that foundation? Let's slow down, get grounded, and find clarity. Here's why most New Year's resolutions fail. They're built on external expectations, not internal values. When we set goals based on pressure or performance or what looks good on paper, we eventually lose the motivation, right? It just fades. And then we feel like we've fallen off, that we're not hitting our goals. And it's not because we're lazy. It's because we're misaligned, making goals based on the wrong things. And real change that truly matters, change that sticks, starts from within. Here's the thing that I think a lot of people don't think about. Life is cyclical. We are meant to begin again. But in these beginnings, we're not starting from scratch, right? We are starting from a place of awareness. We have more strength. We have more knowledge. We have more clarity. So it's not about reinventing. It's just about realigning with the values that you buried by trying to keep up with all the other expectations or social media or the comparisons to, I need to have this to reach this status and I need to prove this. Let's stop with that because it's already proven that that's not the solution. That does not equal happiness. Life moves in seasons, in chapters, in cycles. There are beginnings and there are endings, and often endings are really just new beginnings in disguise. And every time we begin again, we feel like we're starting over from zero, but we're not. We're not. We're starting with more awareness, more wisdom, more knowledge, more truth about what matters to us and what doesn't. The thing about that is our core values, our true strengths, all of it is just deeper knowledge to enhance the foundation that we already have. If we are adding to this deeper sense of knowledge, that then leads to deeper and more internal growth. When you think about it, this time of year, people love to set goals and resolutions, and it's always starting from something new or repeating a goal that they had before that they didn't hit, right? But studies show us that 91% of resolutions fail, not because people are lazy. Most people are not lazy, but it's because we often build these resolutions on what we think we should want, not what we actually value. So if you think about it, right? Like I should want to look this way. I should want to have this body. I should want to chase a promotion. I should want to have the spouse with the 2.5 kids and the picket fence. But is that what you really value? So let's go deeper on this and talk about the science behind it a little bit. Your brain's reward system is tied to identity. So when your goals reflect your deeper values and identity, your brain and that gut feeling will say, yes, 100%, this is me. Let's do it. But when your goals are built on comparison, aka social media, or pressure or trends, they become emotional weight. And eventually, you'll end up dropping those goals because it's emotional weight. And it's not because you failed. It's because those goals weren't truly yours to begin with. And I mean specifically yours. So when you are coming into this new year, before you even start with those resolutions, before you start with those goals, before you start with that vision board, ask yourself, what do I want to accomplish this year? Think about, who am I becoming? What values do I want to live more fully this year? And then when you have those values, what would it look like to honor those values today or tomorrow or next week, a month from now? That's how you should be setting your goals, right? One small aligned action each day is far more powerful than a year of misaligned hustle. You can hustle, and work, but if you're not aligned, those goals aren't going to get you anywhere. That is where the shift happens, right? Because you don't need a new you. You need to just trust yourself. You need to trust the you that has been there all along, the foundation of who you are, the individuality that's you, the authenticity that's you. And yes, you can grow on that with all the things that you've learned, all the lessons that you've learned in life school. Absolutely. But all of those lessons should still honor the core foundation of who you are. And if you've lost sight of that and you're chasing things outside of yourself, the new year is a perfect time to pause, reflect, and return to that core version of who you are. That's why in my work with my clients and inside the core return reset, it's not just goals and habits. We start with values. We start with that authentic voice, the inner compass, because we all have it. But the truth is, most of us were not taught how to live from alignment. We were taught to perform, to please, to overfunction, to prove, right? But clarity doesn't come from any of that. In fact, if you were to check off all the boxes, I perform, I'm pleased, I overfunction, I've proven myself time and time again, I guarantee you, you probably feel more unfulfilled than the person who doesn't have any of those boxes checked. Because clarity, which is really what we all strive for at the end of the day, isn't in performance. It's not. You're not going to find it in performance in any way, shape, or form, but you will find it in being present. So if you think about it, clarity from who you are, what matters to you, is really the thing that we should be chasing year to year. It should be the thing that causes us to pause and say, am I still on track? Am I still clear, first of all, on what even matters to me? So if you're feeling stuck right now, or if you're craving a reset or a restart, and you just don't want to lose yourself in the process again, this is where you start. Number 1, revisit your values. What truly matters to you? And here's the thing, we evolve over time, right? We learn. The core of who we are may shift from here and there, but that foundation is strong. The rest of us, though, like the lessons that we learn, they evolve over time. Who you were at 17 is not going to be the person that you are today. Sometimes I tell people who you were pre-COVID is not going to be the person you are post-COVID in terms of your values and what matters to you. So start there. What truly matters to me? And then number 2 is realign your decisions. What small shifts can reflect those values starting today? And it could be super small. You don't have to think huge, grand goals, because most likely those are going to seem hard to obtain. But if you start small, then before you know it, you would have achieved the bigger goal, right? And then number 3 is to recommit to clarity. Clarity. You don't commit to perfection. Don't commit to success or whatever that definition means to you. Simply commit to clarity. That's all you need to seek. Just be present enough and aware enough to actually question, am I clear on what I value? And do my actions align with what I really value? So before we close, I want to just leave you with 3 powerful journaling questions to help reconnect to your inner clarity. The first one is, where in my life have I been performing instead of honoring myself? Think back over the last year. Think about all the times where you may have had that feeling, that gut pit feeling in your stomach of like, this doesn't feel right. Why am I doing this? Where in your life have you been performing instead of honoring? Number 2 is, what have I been chasing that no longer reflects my truth? Are you chasing a promotion in a job that you no longer care about? Are you chasing a relationship that no longer aligns with who you are becoming or who you want to be? What are you chasing that no longer reflects your truth? Regardless of how it may look to others, we're talking about your truth and how it looks and feels to you. And then number 3, if I began again today, based on my values and what's important to me, what would I choose? If you could begin again today, based on your values, what would you choose? Would you choose differently? Would you choose the same? And let those questions guide you into this new season, this new year. Let go of those resolutions based on trends. Instead, choose one value that you want to honor this month. Maybe it's peace, or creativity, or truth, or courage. Let that value guide a small decision you make each day. That's it. That's how you create a life and design a life that is truly authentically yours, that you can feel so happy about and you don't need to take vacations from. If this spoke to you, I made a worksheet to help called the Resolution Reframe. It's just a simple tool that helps with clarity, helps you shift from pressure to purpose. And then if you're ready to go deeper, the Core Return Reset is open. It's a 5-day journey to help you rebuild clarity and self-trust from the inside out. Because please believe me when I say, you don't need a new you. You just need to honor who you already are. And sometimes that takes remembering who you are. So if that's you, the links are below.